is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. Foundation.
The Foundation with Hart Grant is brought to you by Alive, Burger King, Commonwealth Winds, Grand Bahama News, Popeyes, Prince Masters, and Ron's Electric Motors.
Steam Tech Crew.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect on this beautiful Friday, December 27th, 2024, last Friday for the year. Hope you guys are good out there. Hope you enjoyed your Christmas holiday, your Boxing Day holiday, all the Saxons out there. I know that you're freaking out. I just looked at something online. It says, Saxon fans are so annoying. I feel like this is what happens when you get upset when the Valley. There's only the Valley saying that, right? Guys, it's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company. Got a shout out by good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. You got a couple more days before the end of the year. Got a couple texts this morning say the police is on the road. If your vehicle is not licensed, insured, and prepared to be able to move over to 2025, get that thing done today. If you ain't got the money, put the car down. Amen? I can't get an amen. Catch the bus.
Yeah, bus running.
Yes, bus running. Go down there to AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers and get yourself taken care of. 3411-AFS. 3411-AFS. Commercial, residential, any of these things that you're seeking to move in the direction of, make sure you go and check them out. Ask for my good friend, Mr. Richardson, or my good friend, Ethric Bow. He'd be more than happy to accommodate you guys for the end of the year. And he always have a little surprise for those persons who seek to do business with him at the end of the year. Got to be able to shout him out and shout out all the good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers out for this particular time. Hey, I got to say a shout out to my good friend also, man, Avery Lightbourne. He's doing amazing stuff. I know that we skipped over some days, and, Thursday is his day when he also wants to be able to come down and talk with us and talk to us about what he's doing over at Art Development, Art Construction for some modern construction with the fiber reinforcement polymers, right? That's the fiber rebar that they have got down there. That's the MST bar. Guys, you got to give him a call. If you are in this kind of listen to me, I have about something that I needed to do, right, as it relates to building. Sometimes we procrastinate. Sometimes we get some ideas, but we never put that thing on paper. It's time for us to be able to kick into our Habakkuk 2 and 2. And if you're in that kind of a mode and understanding that you need to be able to do some building, get your fiber reinforcement polymers. Think about longevity. Think about your conservative nature. Tap into that. Make some things happen in those particular areas, and go down there and check out my good guy. He's in the Dugard Plaza, right there on the side of McDonald's, and you go in Palmdale area, right in that particular space, and they can take very good care of you and ensure that you get those things. This is affordable, and this is lifelong as it relates to the longevity of this particular product. You got to go down there and check him out. and see exactly what's what. Give them a call, 822-9527, 822-9527 on 603-4506, 603-4506. Pick up your Guardian newspaper. All the information's in the paper. Big win for the Saxons. Superstars. They got everything in there. Guys, pick up the paper. The group secures a three-peat, right? 3 straight victories. This is a three-peat. This worse than the Bulls in the 90s. My God, they're doing big things. So they got everything taken care of, guys. Congratulations to the Saxons. Congratulations to all those particular persons who were in the group and doing wonderful in those particular areas. CID cooperation probe forwarded to DPP, the department. The DPP for review. And this is what Fernandez said. He said that the police have forwarded the file of the investigation of the alleged corruption for the Criminal Investigation Department to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution for recommendations on further action. This is the Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernandez, said yesterday. Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, who headed the CID, is on garden leave pending an outcome of the investigation. He's still receiving his pay benefits. And it's important that in the first paragraph that we needed to know that he's still on a garden leave and still getting paid. And all these particular things are still happening out there, right? Also, a new suspect arrested in the Adriel Moxie, that's how you pronounce it, Adriel Moxie murder case. It's peculiar that it happens the way that it happens in this country. It's peculiar that things happen in this particular manner. I want to be able to introduce you to my very good friend, Garth Roseborough, in the studio with me today as we continue to be able to talk the way that we're talking. And, as I look through the paper, it's Friday, but, on Thursdays we normally have a good conversation about the obituary. Yesterday was a holiday, so we didn't have a chance to be able to do that. And so we always take our time to be able to look at our brothers and sisters who've passed away for the year. This is to be the last time for the year that we'll see these particular things come out. And so as we look at these particular things and look at those persons who've passed away, I know that this might be a hard time for you. I said this to you already. I know that this may be a hard time for all those persons who've lost someone during the Christmas time. This ain't easy. And if you lose someone during this particular season, I know that this is going to be rough for you going forward. And so we continue to be able to pray for you. But if you're in this kind of a space and in this kind of a position where you got to take care of your loved one, you're responsible for putting them down and finding the morgue and so forth and so on, finding those persons who can be able to put them down with style and class. I always say to you, go down there and check out my good, decent people, my good friends. They're very good friends over at Butler's Funeral Homes and Crematorium. They'd be more than happy to assist you in being able to put your loved one down with the character, the style, the class that they existed in. And so they want to be able to capture that and encapsulate that and put them down in class and style. So go down there and check them out. They are on East Ernest and York Street, East Bay Street, Ernest and York, south of Porter's Key Park, behind that Pink Plaza. They're right in that particular space. God, say good afternoon to the people out there, my brother.
It's a good afternoon for me, Howard. Like you said earlier, you got to go get that insurance done. I was on a particular highway, and the police was out in full force. And you had a whole lot of cars pulled on the side of the road, but I mean, they had a fleet of wreckers out there towing people's car.
Yeah.
I mean, a fleet. I say fleet of wreckers.
You see nobody acting like that engine breakdown, they looking at the engine?
But I've
Somebody
seen
fix the
people
tire.
reverse on a highway on the wrong way. They reversing top speed like they in the movie.
You all need to stop.
But my God, I mean, when we gonna learn? And it always happens this way. When you don't insure your car or license your car, you can see 1 million police on the road.
I just think that's poor financial management, I suppose. If you put $10 aside a week, I'm sure you could be able to take care of that. $10 aside a week.
But you got to understand what $10 means in this country, though. $10 is 3 bears. And you got $2 left over for your split house. Let's talk about the $10 now. What $10 can get you? $10 get you that
You
bag.
need your car insured or you need the bears?
No, they need that on a daily basis.
I need the bears now.
Now. We're dealing with a now generation. That car thing, we could work that out later.
We can figure it out later.
That may be my cousin, that may be my uncle Mahadi. I just say, hey, what's happening, man? Yeah, I can get
I can take care of this.
I can get, yeah. We could put that off, you see.
Bears, you need that now.
And recently too, Howard, I actually had a friend who got a health scare and had to end up in the place that he talked so bad about. He had to end up in Princess Margaret. So you can imagine the fear that you have.
He thought he was gone.
But once you go through the door.
He thought he was gone.
Once you go through. So what I'm saying, when you talk about fiscal responsibility for the new year, Howard, putting aside $10 a day or $20 a day. I think that's important. I think you probably need to let people know that as a part of the foundation,
If it ain't got to be a day,
you need to put something aside.
$2 a day would end up with $10 a week.
Yeah. But at least if you have a health scare, you might have some money put aside to,
Yeah, you mean
to
like
go to
that.
doctors, or you may have to even fly out the country. Or if you put this money aside, Howard, then I think you might be able to afford some insurance to cover
You got to get
yourself.
some insurance.
This is what I'm saying. But, that's a show for Thursday for you. But I just wanted to put a plug in there that we need to do better financially for the new year. We do.
I looked at something. I'm heavy on this TikTok thing and heavy on these, just looking up for educational stuff. And I came across something that I don't know if a lot of persons know about. And I'd like to make this a show and an article and really be able to talk about this, because I saw this and I was taken back by it. I couldn't. I saw this clip. This guy was talking about how he went over to the Neighborhood Association Corporations of America, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting affordable home ownership to low and moderate income individuals and families. NACA is known for its unparalleled mortgage program, which provides loans outside of some of the traditional barriers of home ownership, such as no down payments, no closing costs, and perfect credit scores. When you don't have a perfect credit score, they still assist you in these particular areas. So I looked at this and I said to myself, whatever happened to the rent-to-own program?
That's a conversation for you to also have in the future.
I got to have this.
Yeah,
These are important conversations.
You are now on the cutting edge of conversation, and I just want to encourage folks that are listening that you want to tune in today, because we did start a conversation on Wednesday that the lines were all lit up. I think you got your Christmas tree early. Those lines were lit right up. These are the type of conversations that people are listening for, and I do believe
But
that.
for what though?
Well, we are hoping, and we are also praying
It's a subtle hope.
it's
not a pronounced hope.
if you can just turn, a few people, that a few people may decide to share that knowledge with more people in an exponential way. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping that it doesn't
I see
go...
people gravitate towards these things for the purposes of, for the most part, this is entertainment. What people do. Talk radio is entertainment. It's for edification purposes, but for the most part, it's for entertainment.
Entertainment is good because
A
something
lot of
still
persons
has to
look for
remain
me
in your
to
head.
be. A lot of persons look for me, and they tell you, "Man, Howard, you got to be like this, and you got to be like that," and they're trying to compare you to Darrell, or they're trying to compare you to Juan McCartney, or they're trying to compare you to everyone else who've done it before, and they're saying you got to be more like this. But before these men, you had no idea that you can do this.
Yeah.
And so when they do it, you seek that to be emulated and duplicated because it tickled your fancy. That's what you wanted. All right? So you listen to talk shows, you get edification as a secondary measure. That wasn't the first thing that you came for. You came for entertainment. And so I asked the question, as we push these conversations forward, as we strategic to identify some of the infractions that's happening in our country, what are we doing this for?
Well, I'll give you some confidence, Howard, that most people that run into me, they say, "Oh, you're the guy from Howard's show," or "You're the guy from the show on Sunday." Remarkably, they talk about Sunday, right? But they said, listening to you, what side of the fence are you on? People want to know, where does Howard sit? Where does God sit in terms of the decision that's going to propel our country forward? Our way, I do believe. We there's a result that we would like to see, but as you said, to say it too early would be simply entertaining. To show you how we must get there is where the work takes place. I had the privilege yesterday, for the first time in my life, to sit in the presence of, guess who? Hubert Alexander Minnis.
Minnis?
I sat under a tent in someone's backyard, and we had a discussion. But it was a different man than the prime minister that we knew. It's a different man than the politician that you know.
Yeah, but because he already didn't take off that
garb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The robe, that is the competent authority. That's
Yeah.
a robe.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. We want to continue that conversation.
That's a robe.
Because you were telling me the person doesn't really matter when it comes to leadership in these organizations.
No.
My point, if I may remind the people, Howard, is that I made a statement that if there were three people,
Yeah.
three persons that were impeding the progress of this nation presently. And
In your view.
in my view.
Okay.
Yeah. You could use allegedly, huh? You all like to lose that new word. That new word, they like to use this new word.
You better use it, praise God.
This must be a foundation word, allegedly. Right?
Allegedly.
But a comparison to the performance of Chester Cooper. Chester Cooper. And then we mentioned, I keep forgetting his name. You wouldn't believe that, would you?
Who?
The Royal Opposition leader, Michael C. Pentard.
Yeah, Michael
I don't know why I keep forgetting his name these days. Michael C. Pentard.
I see what you're doing. You're being indecent. Go
No,
ahead.
but I keep,
Go ahead.
And then of course there's Lincoln Bain, and I said if they had changed places with another type individual that was more progressive, I believe the nation could also progress further or much easier.
And I said no.
And you said no. So I turned the program over to you. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant, 96.9 FM, Guardian Radio.
But on Friday we had when this was Wednesday.
That was on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Tuesday we had an opportunity to be able to break down the PLP, and I
Yes.
said to you, this is why Chester Cooper would not do well in this, because for the years that it took for Brave Davis to ascend to this position, because this is an ascension.
It's not an overnight thing.
No. You're not identified as the man, because everybody wants to be the man.
Okay.
When you're identified for politics, when they say, man, I think you're doing good for politics. I think you'd be great for the PLP. Why won't you consider joining the organization? Blah, 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 blah. Automatically, your ego, that switch of ego turns on in your head. You think I can run the party.
But that's what Behemoths believe leadership is.
That's a natural thing. Every
Yes.
single one of them believe that, I'm going to run the party eventually.
Okay, so who runs the candidates?
You mean who runs the candidates?
Like people who now wanting to be nominated for the next election, who has to say as to who gets in and who
Fred
stays
Mitchell.
out?
That's the chairman. The chairman of the organization.
The leader doesn't.
No, ultimately it goes to the leader, but the leader doesn't do it. Fred in his particular capacity. And then he brings whatever is filtered out, and based upon it, it's a secondary filtering that leads to this particular decision.
Okay.
Okay? So the filter doesn't always have to go based upon qualification. It may go based upon proximity. Oh, I know this fella. Let's give him a
Well,
chance.
that's what I'm saying. That's when personality takes place, Howard. But that's the type of government you're going to have based on the type of persons I think that you would nominate, or do you nominate people to fit into a mold that the party has or the organization has put forth?
You nominate people to fit into an agenda.
So you don't fit into anyone's agenda right now?
Who, me? Howard Grant?
Yeah, you.
No.
That's why you're not in any party?
Okay. The type of conversations that we have here. If you sit down and you listen to me, and you listen to the way that we've spoken over the course of the past 2.5 years that we've been in this space, or even longer than that.
Okay.
Because I look in the papers today on page 2, you'd see rush hour there. I'm sure that the printing department accidentally put that in. However, this was something that we've done for a very long time. And I've been in this space for a long time. Even before that, I was sitting with Warren McCartney.
Okay.
And in my mind, I'm consistent. And I'm always open to the sort of criticism that says, Howard, you're moving to the left. Howard, you're moving to the right. Howard, stay neutral, stay neutral, stay neutral. And so my agitation has always let you know that I'm vulnerable, I'm transparent, and I'm willing to let you know this is what I think, this is what I believe, this is where I stand. And because of that consistency, you can't come to me in a contrary manner. And so I don't fit in no one's agenda. My consistency is I believe that this should be done right. I believe that this should be done right.
But isn't that a bit too strong when you want to enter into an organization? They're looking for someone that they can basically mold into the type individual they're
Yeah, but as a
thinking.
man.
So you're saying that
I'm not a
these people are
child.
not men?
No. I don't have a child thinking, and I'm not in a desperate position that someone takes care of me. I'm a man. I'm going to be taken care of by who I believe in Jesus Christ. He's going to take care of me. I'm good. My family's taken care of. My wife is taken care of. My children are taken care of. I'm good. And so I don't need to be persuaded that you are going to take care of me, because as far as I look at you, you are arms of flesh, and I'm sure you can feel me. And every political organization has done that.
So when they chose Chester Cooper for deputy leader of the party, he's now showing signs of progress in his constituency of Exuma, Ragged Island. And the things that he's able to accomplish, I felt, to his own character and his ability. And when it comes to our noble prime minister, and we look at his constituency, only after so many years, decades, that we now see a person who's possibly looking at his constituency for any sign of growth. And so for me, I felt it was personal. It's just who you are. I mean, everyone talks about how Brave gives to all of these charities and he assists people. And then we always ask the question, what about Cat Island? What about Rum Key? What about San Salvador?
Cat Island is loyal to Brave Davis.
Is Brave Davis loyal to Cat Island?
Yes.
With Kentucky Fried Chicken every election?
I don't know what he gives every election, but whatever it is consistent. Consistent enough that he could be able to retain a seat. The same way North Abaco is loyal to Hubert Alexander Ingram. And that loyalty was cut off for Perry Gladstone Christie in Centerville. The country has an understanding. We're not stupid people. We're very sharp. Very sharp. And the same way that Marco City would place a loyalty to Michael
C.
Pintard. They will place a loyalty to him. The same way Kalani has been loyal to Hubert Alexander Minnis.
Is that a mold that has been set? Like when we look at Lyndon Pending
your member of parliament is the prime minister of the country. You have an obligation to be able to identify that. Let me see if I can secure him for us. You know where I live? I live in North Abaco. My member of parliament is the prime minister. This level of pride that you could be able to accept just because of proximity.
But
It
North
does something to
Abaco
people.
did well. I think they did most well out of all of the prime ministers, if I stand to be corrected.
Only because of who Hubert Alexander Ingram is. Not because naturally that's what have happened. Because they did nothing under Renard Curry. What was his name? Renato Curry. They did nothing. Under Darren Henfield, nothing.
When they had
And now currently under Kirk Cornish, nothing. Now Darren Henfield indicate that he's seen nothing under Kirk Cornish, which I agree with him. However, this nothing has existed for a long time. For a long time.
when Darren had to deal with Dorian, didn't he? And the pandemic. That came under
Abaco
his-
was demolished.
Yes.
It was demolished significantly. So anyway, get back to what I was saying to you. When you identify these things, it takes an ascension, and it takes commitment. It takes those proverbial crumbs, just like Hansel and Gretel. As you go throughout the forest, you have to keep dropping things. And so the birds and the beast can be able to have something to consume as you go towards your cookie cutter house, this kind of an idea of your pastry land, whatever this is that you're going to, right? As you move towards that, you got to drop something. Chester Cooper hasn't gone even a quarter of the way on this path. And I don't even know if he's dropped anything for people to understand the type of person that he is. He's done well. His business acumen has led him to this position. However, to ascend to a position of leadership, you have to consider who's behind him. That's where we left off. You have to consider who is behind and what they have given to the organization over years, very quietly, that you have no idea. You have no idea.
We have hints, though.
Of course we have hints.
Mother Cynthia Pratt, she's now the Governor General. Someone had to be powerful behind her to put her in that place of responsibility.
Of course. Mother Cynthia Pratt has been, Cynthia Mother Pratt has been the type of person that you can always call on. I will never forget when Perry Gladstone Christie fell ill. And she was the Deputy Prime Minister. And Perry Christie indicated, has anything happened to me, that he called in who? Who did he call in?
He called Cynthia Mother.
No.
Who?
He called in Hubert Ingram.
No. Say the question again.
When Perry Gladstone Christie fell ill, I think he was supposed to go to a surgery or something like that. He was the prime minister. This was between 2002, 2007.
Yeah, I remember those times.
He was the prime minister, and he fell ill. He didn't feel good. He had to go take a surgery or whatever the case may be. But he's indicating that that I wanted everything, the responsibility of the country, to go over to
All the responsibility.
Alexander Ingram, who was the royal opposition at the time. That's the trust and the confidence that he placed it in him. Mother Pratt, she played a role. That is who she has always been. And for that loyalty, for that commitment, they had to reward her with something greater. They didn't need anyone to push back against whatever the tide was that they had to be able to set aside and say, this is what we want to do. If you remember.
You're making me suspicious, you know. I mean,
Why?
I try to battle all this food that I eat over the holidays. You know, we starting slow today, right?
Why?
Because based on what you just said to me, if the relationship between Perry Gladstone Christie and Hubert Alexander Ingram is so tight, and Philip Brave Davis being now the prime minister, which is a partner, a law partner, then it kind of makes me suspicious that this duo is responsible for the present situation. And if this duo is responsible for the present leadership,
you got to clear a lot of this up. What situation?
where Philip Brave Davis is now prime minister.
But isn't that the agenda? Isn't that?
Well, that's why I use the word suspicious. I use the word suspicious only because.
Don't be suspicious, though.
No, I
It's apparent.
put icing on the cake for you. I am now suspicious because I'm trying to figure out. Can I say this?
But what you being
The
suspicious?
royal
for?
opposition, to me, doesn't look all that strong. And I'm wondering if that is by design. Let me just say it. I wonder if that's by design.
Okay, so when I
You
sat,
got
when
three
I
partners.
sat, when I sat,
And
with,
now you put a weak royal opposition against your man, your fighter, and you expect a particular result, which is victory. So we're looking at 2 terms of the PLP. That's what you're trying to tell me?
now watch me.
By design?
Let me say this.
Yes, sir.
We started off slow. One liked the conversation. He kept inviting me back. Until it came to a point that when you didn't hear Warren McCartney, you heard Howard Grant.
Okay.
Right? Whenever he would go anywhere, you heard Howard Grant. I never required anything. I never got paid for it, but I was with him the entire time.
That's what we do.
Okay, so behind the scenes, Warren would say to me, Howard, I don't know how long I can be able to do this. I said, but Warren, stop talking foolishness and let's jam here. He said, but Howard, I got some other stuff. And he would keep hinting these things to me. He said, Howard, listen, he's been saying this for years. And people don't know this, but he's been saying this to me for years. Right? So I said, Warren, stop talking foolishness. Let's just jam, right? And then he would say to me,
And they don't know you wasn't getting paid. Nobody knows. They
that
just
ain't
see
nobody
you
business.
just consistent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That ain't nobody
Go
business,
ahead.
right? So he said, Howard, when I leave here, you want to be able to, I want you to get this
Continue.
spot. That's what he said to me. You know who also said that to me? Carlton Smith. I've been here long enough.
I know how long you've been.
Carlton Smith said the exact same thing to me. Now, I'm saying that to say to you that leadership always identifies a successor. That's just natural. Leadership requires a successor. And nobody better to identify that people who've been working with you, who understand the system, who understand those things, to ascend to this position. Yes, Brave Davis has been in his position for a very long time. And not just merely identified by 2 leaders of the country, but also by his commitment. He knew he was going to be prime minister, and he paid his way.
So they identified the person. And do you see that person now today identifying? Do you see that happening in the Free National Movement where this is a result of identification? And what is the future of the identification?
You can get deep. Producer, let me take a break because I have to be able to have a conversation with this man. He won't get deep with me. That has not happened in the Free National Movement.
We're going to talk about this after the break.
Because
Don't start me up and leave me hanging.
done.
No, don't start me.
Minutes
After
wasn't
the
done.
break. Give us your numbers and we see them after the break.
Guys, you know the numbers. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the Family of Islands, 242-300, 5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Quick break. Going to be right back after this.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, at 96.9 FM radios. Very quick commercials today, guys. Make sure if you want to be able to be a part of us and what we're doing here at the foundation going forward, especially for the year 302-2300, 302-2300, or hit me up 827-0111. We got some excellent packages moving forward, so you can be able to be a part of that. Now, what you saying to me now? Nah, I want to shoot straight with you.
You just said that where we are presently with national leadership is with Philip, our Prime Minister.
He has been identified on all fronts for
and
the
paid
PLP.
his dues.
Yes.
So, Chester Cooper, is he now being identified, or is there another in the PLP that's being identified that you know, that you can see through your political eyes?
You believe that Chester Cooper has been identified. He has not. His proximity places him within the eye shot. That's it. Not that he's been identified in the party.
You don't believe that he is favored so much that the people will ask for him to be the leader of the PLP next?
Nobody will ask for him to be the leader of the PLP next. Only young people.
Okay, so with that same measuring, let's look at the Free National Movement. You
have to let me explain that, because that I left the two open. It sound vague, and it sound like destructive rather than constructive.
Well, fix it up. Fix it.
Chester Cooper's has not paid his dues as yet. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that he has to pay his dues to yesterday, which is the stalwarts, which is the traditional people. He has to get in bed with them and get in chummy with them for them to understand exactly who he is. He has to be transparent. He has to let them see his vulnerability and identify his strengths. These are in the party. They are the testers, the litmus testers in organizations. They could be able to identify your pH balance, whether or not you have the strength to endure to be able to get this organization, maintain this organization. They put Brave Davis through a hell of a lot of that.
He did.
And he stood strong.
He remained.
He remained strong. Mm-hmm. Brave Davis still going through these things. And not just from internally in the organization. The whole country put them through it right now. The whole country putting them through it right now.
Oh, boy.
You understand me? And so Chester Cooper has a ways to go. I watched his temperament shifted over the past several years. His temperament.
Give me 3 names sitting on the bench for leadership in the PLP. Just 3 names that you can say you suspect or you would forecast and say the possibility to even desire leadership exists in the PLP.
Everyone from the PLP's bench has the capability, the strength, and the seniority and understanding of what politics is to ascend to that position. They have a lot of senior men, whether it's Glennis, whether it's Alfred Sayers, whether it's who else there? These are a lot of men and women. Fred Mitchell. These are men and women who understand politics internally. Their heart pumps blood, PLP blood, every single day. And because of what they've done over the years, they understand politics intimately. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I couldn't call no one person or 3 people named, because every time you call one, you got to call another, because these people have paid their dues. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying to you. When you look at that, you have to identify that because these men have paid their dues, you can't look that over.
So the PLP being a more mature party, and we're talking about paying dues, how does the Free National Movement now work? It's paying dues and identifying.
Now you started to ask me this kind of a question, whether or not Michael Pintard was identified the same way Brave Davis was.
Yes.
No.
He wasn't?
He couldn't be.
Okay, explain.
He couldn't be. After the washing away of all the prominent members of parliament and all those particular persons who had great potential, articulation, insight, so forth and so on, after the significant washing away, including Dwayne Sands, including Dwayne Sands, who's currently the chairman. He's currently the chairman, but he was washed away in Elizabeth in that tide that was the New Day tide. Okay, after the washing away, the FNM was left with 7 men. Adrian Gibson, Adrian White, Kwesi
Thompson,
Iram Lewis,
Shannon Don Cartwright,
Dr.
Hubert Alexander Minnis,
Dr. Minnis,
and the leader, Michael C. Pintard.
And Michael Pintard. This is what the FNM was left with. They had already made a determination that we don't want nothing to do with Minnis. They knew he was going to retain his seat. Hubert Minnis was already knocked off the board. Bam. So now you're left with 6 men. So you start to eliminate. All right, so we can't go with Adrian Gibson. We're not going to go with Adrian White. He brand new into the space. Kwesi, they float his name. It didn't work out. Iram, they float his name. It didn't work out. So you start to eliminate men. And so the only 2 men that were left at the forefront of the party because the party has already made a determination that we want these particular persons, they have to lead from in the House of Assembly. The only two names that you were left with was who? After you eliminate you eliminate 5 men.
You only have 2 left.
You only have 2 left. So you have Michael Pintard and Shannon Cartwright.
That's it.
Now you look at Michael Pintard. Michael Pintard has paid his dues. Michael Pintard has run against Brave Davis. Michael Pintard has run against Perry Christie. Michael Pintard has been all over for the party. Michael Pintard was, in a sense, Mother Pratt in terms of doing what you were told for the party for a very long time. And as a result of this, the party has an obligation to be able to thank you for your years of service and what you've done in these particular areas. Michael Pintard, and that ain't have nothing to do with the fact that he's qualified, capable, and articulate, insightful, so forth and so on, and capable to do these things. Michael Pintard ended up in the position of leadership in the party. But that choice wasn't made by the people. That choice was made by the science of what's happening. And there was an overlord who identified this and said, I think he'll be the guy.
You know, I don't feel as if that's a healthy situation, right?
It don't have to be healthy. It's what happened. It's what happened.
I'm not happy with that.
I don't know whether or not Michael Pintard will lie to, well, I can't say lie, but I don't know whether Michael Pintard will refrain from telling us that he would not have been the first choice. The party would not have made him the first choice if other men were there. They would not. I think he knows that. But how the cards are played and who's on the side of God, because all these things has to do with faith, right? And who God preserves to be able to build up this particular government, they have to take on this task. And I think that's where Michael Pintard sits. And so as I look at that and identify those particular things, this is what we see. Guys, the lines are wide open. Let me take this telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead. Call on the line. Hello?
I'd like to comment on the show, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Howard.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well, man, Garth in studio with you.
Yeah, he's right here, right here.
Garth, senior man, what's going on? It's Chad.
Hey, what's going on, my brother?
Everything's good, man. So, like you're having 2 conversations and intermingling them as one. And I'll tell you why. As you present, you keep transitioning out of party and then leadership. May I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Your point. When was the last time that you thought that we had real leadership at the helm in our country? Something transformative.
Okay, so from a history standpoint, I could look back and identify a time where the country really had real leadership, and that was with Lyndon Pinland. And
how long ago was that?
That would have been 40 years ago.
Okay. So,
which it only equates to between 64 and 77. I'll say that's when the strength of the PLP showed its head.
Okay, I'm not a great at math, but the time difference, whatever you add, subtract from there, that's a long time for a nation, and it's reflected in what's happening in the country now.
Yes.
We have to be careful, and I think we do ourselves a disservice when we use the word leadership versus politics or politicians, because they're not necessarily always one and the same. I've heard you also say about paying dues and why a certain individual or another individual may not be considered in the minds of the electorate because they haven't paid dues. Who are the dues being paid to?
Now,
who are they supposed to pay the dues to?
One of the things that I have not said is the electorate. That everything that I've said has been concentrated to the councils of organizations. So whether it is the PLP stalwarts or the FNM MCMs, the paying dues, you can't ascend to a position where you present it to the entire country without going through this proverbial forest and coming out the quote unquote man, the political man that you seek to be. You have to go through them. And going through them requires paying dues. And that the dues payment ain't cash. It is a commitment that when they put you in precarious situations that you rise to the occasion. When they ask you to be able to do something one-off, you rise to the occasion. That's what paying dues is. Whatever they put you through for this time and a half that you're here, that you rise to the occasion. Brave Davis has done that. That's all I'm saying.
I just think that we would do better as far as, and listen, your shows are great, advancing an agenda that's beneficial as opposed to taking whatever you pay, your currency, for paying the dues. Conversations where, and I think the closest person that maybe came to it in our time thus far would have been Banville McCartney. Insofar as stepping outside of what is or what was the norm, garnering at that point sufficient support for people to feel like maybe there was another way. But it seems like we're backtracking. The dues paying, the mixing up of leadership versus a leader versus a politician, if we continue accepting those things as the same, we're probably not going to be any better off.
I like it. I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Thank you so very kindly for that. I want to agree with you with some aspects, but I could push back with you. I could push back with that because Banville McCartney too had a responsibility for being able to pay his dues, and because of his defiance, he defied it. He stood up bold and say, "Hell no, I'm not doing this."
But isn't that what leaders do when they disagree, when they feel that there's a better way? You're telling me that he should have been patient. He should have just bowed down. But
no,
Howard,
I'm not saying that's what he should have done.
You yourself, like me, we don't bow. We do not bow.
Well, that's why I ain't in politics now.
And that's why we are not in politics. But this is something to be admired. If we are to look at the leaders, and great call, by the way, that came in. I enjoyed the call. We have not had anyone with a backbone to stand up and say, "Listen, man, we got to fix this." The closest thing we came to that was probably Hubert Alexander Minnis, who made the attempt, but I don't think he was popular enough the way he had sufficient strength or energy behind him to even continue that process. Did we enjoy the time that he was the prime minister? Absolutely not. We all felt miserable. We felt we were disrespected. A whole lot of things we thought, but at the same time, there was a resilience on his behalf, a defiance, as it were, behind the powers that be. And you and I, off this show, have spoken about those powers that be. And it means that he was not a part of that particular triangle.
Now, let's be clear about some things.
I know I spoke in some codes to the people on the air, and I'm going to let you fix it.
About some things.
Yeah, fix it.
The caller, for the most part, speaks to the ideal Bahamaland.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Okay. Everything that I've said has nothing to do with ideals.
What are you doing with realistic?
This is what's happening. This is currently the position. This is currently the assessment. This is currently what's happening in this country. Now, we could transition into the ideal concept.
Easily.
Right? Yeah, we could always do this about, I had a dream, and one day
but don't
that
say,
the FNM and the PLP
just don't say be free.
Could get together. I could do that.
Yeah, don't do the be free thing.
But we're not getting to that. We're talking about the reality. And the reality is that if you want something from a particular government department and you need that to get done without waiting your 6 weeks, the reality is you have to be able to come up with your lunch money. That's just what it is.
But when I first gave you the statement and
that's what it is.
This is why I put it forward to you to find out how in the heck do we get from where we are now to where we need to be. You said it about a week ago. We got to stop talking about this. The Bahamian people need to wake up, stop taking the show as an entertainment, and say, you know what? We need to sit down and figure this out together as to how we are going to get this country on the right track. What we have right now, I said to you before, is a puppet show. We got three stooges. Curly, Larry, and Mo. Those are the three political heads right now in our country, and it doesn't look much more than that of a comedy.
Guys, it's 1 o'clock. Let me see if I can be able to take this quick commercial break, get to news, and be right back. On the other side, I'd like you to join me in conversation.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy on new.
Signature hot wings.
What's your flavor?
Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken.
Ghost pepper wings.
Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
Popeyes.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect in the studio right now. Give me a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-425-9. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Sitting in the studio here with Garth Rosebar, being able to talk the way that we're talking. Garth, now, talk to me.
Howard, I've always said of recent that what we need in this country is a disciplined leader, someone who knows how to manage the resources, manage the people properly. Someone knows how to place our country internationally in terms of policy, in terms of governance to propel our country forward. And I've said to you, we've had disciplined leaders of the past. So Lyndon was a disciplined person. Hubert Ingram was a disciplined person. People always say that Perry Glasgow Christie wasn't that much of a disciplined, softer. And then we go to Hubert Alexander Minnis, who I believe was extremely disciplined. And then, of course, now we got Philip Brave Davis.
The word discipline, is that an accurate word?
Well,
that you're using in this sentence?
my thing is that they had a stern stance.
Okay,
then.
good.
Let me use the word stern stance.
Okay.
But when I say discipline, I mean, when I think of discipline, I think of like a father figure. And my father, he knows when to get firm with me and when not to play with me. But we didn't see that with Perry Glasgow Christie. That's my friend, but he was a softer type person. And I guess that's why Hubert Ingram toyed with him and called him a pussycat, right? But after Minnis, though, who to me was the total authoritarian, then came Philip Brave Davis, who was just, to me, absent. He wasn't even here. And so I'm thinking that we need somebody here. Only now I'm seeing Philip Brave Davis being that strong arm person who says, we got to unite, we got to get together, we got to get some things right. Only now. All before this, he wasn't here.
I want to say this to you because we had this kind of a conversation on the commercial,
Yeah.
on the break.
So what is it going to take?
He started to talk about when we were on the break about stern leadership.
Yeah.
And we identified stern leadership. Hubert Ingram was a stern leader, okay?
Yeah.
And Hubert Minnis was also a stern leader.
Yes.
Right? But what they lacked is conviction. They lack conviction.
Explain conviction.
Okay, conviction is the alignment of a constitutional alignment to do. It doesn't have anything to do with religion. It doesn't have anything to do with any of these things. When you look at Singapore, that is a stern leader who's convicted that we don't have to move in the path of corruption to make these particular things happen. The PLP has always been a convicted organization. They want to take care of its people. They want to do the right thing. They want to be. This is who they are.
You think so?
This is who they are.
But you said they identify future leaders, and then the future leader looks just like the previous one.
Listen to me. The PLP is an organization built for the people, by the people. This is who the PLP is.
Which people, though?
This is the people from the 60s and 50s, obviously.
A little small circle of people.
Not us.
Dying us. Okay.
Because we changed over the years.
Just because we speak our dialect, but I say dying us.
Yeah, you know. But
dying us.
The country has changed over the years. But the core of when the PLP was constructed was an organization that was built for the people, by the people. Those tenets are wrapped in their constitution. And the leaders that have been groomed over the years have this conviction inside of them. They don't get to ascend to a position of leadership without understanding that, listen, we here to take care of people. We got to take care of people.
Okay.
Yes. Brave Davis, Perry Christine, and Lyndon Pinland. They understood that we have to take care of people. The one element that all of them, the first Prime Minister, Lyndon Pinland, but definitely the second and the third Prime Ministers in their particular respectives under the PLP, the present one.
Mm-hmm.
They lack the conviction, they lack that kind of a stern hand that even though you're convicted, you have to stand firm and make this particular decision.
So what is the first
they haven't done that.
What is the first stance you would take if you were in that position to show that you were convicted?
See, the PLP has always flirted with the idea of being liked. They need to be liked.
Okay.
As an organization, they want you to like them. I'm not talking about the FNM and the indifference that exists in there politically. I'm talking about how they present themselves, the PLP. They want you to like them. And leadership wants you to like them. They always want to hit you with a charm. They always want to hit you with a party. They always want you in a feel-good mode. And in that kind of a space, that kind of a strong position to make a decision doesn't exist in that space. That's what the issue is happening right now.
And people still like
in
them.
the PLP.
And they like them.
They're likable people.
They're more likable than the FNM right now.
But sometimes you have to put that aside to make a decision that's for the betterment of the country. For the betterment of the country, we shouldn't be reading now a commissioner who's indicated that he's stepping down.
That's idealism now.
Watch me.
You're talking about ideal now.
Now, yeah, this
Yeah, you're talking about the realism. The realism.
The
of that.
realism is that they exist now.
It exists
Because of a lack of a
and-
stern hand. Because of a lack of a stern hand.
Yeah.
They're convicted. They won't do what you ask them to do. That's conviction. They won't
want
do
to?
what they want to do it. Yes,
You think
man.
so?
Yes. The PLP won't fix these issues bad.
You think so?
But they want you like them too. And I'm not talking about the wider public. I was talking about friends. I don't want to lose my friend. I don't want to lose this
You know, but
relationship.
that little circle. That's
This little small circle,
Yeah.
I can't tamper with that. Okay,
But the rest of us could suffer.
we will have to suffer. But we'll get over it because Bahamian people is forget quickly. That's the mindset.
What the heck?
So now watch me. What's conviction is that they know we had to do something about this corruption. What's conviction is that the chief of police put in his resignation. That's conviction. His conviction has said, I'm going to be able to do it. The prime minister's conviction said, I've accepted his resignation.
Okay.
So you present that to the country. The lack of a stern hand is indicating that this is would have immediate effect. It's not of immediate effect. It's not an immediate thing.
I see that.
It happens in due time and due season.
Jeez,
and
I
hope to
saw
God
that.
you'll forget about it.
I saw that.
This is what happened in the PLP.
And ain't no one else getting
The
fired?
PLP wants you to understand that we want to fix this. However, these things are not as easy as they seem. They're very complex. These people are my friends, my good friends. I can't. That's what it comes off as. They can fix this, you know. This prime minister could fix this. He could be both convicted, compassionate. He just have to make the decision. But the decision ain't always a popular decision.
But according to you, he's not even behind the decisions of the country.
Who? Which one? The prime minister?
Yeah. He has an influence.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
And that's how organizations work.
That's what I try to tell you.
But even the kingdom of God is 24 elders around the throne in Jesus Christ. Come on, man. You know you can put me in the corner like
Why they
that.
gotta put you in the corner, Howard?
But you know me better
You
than that.
try to put us on this man show, and you yourself said on the show, you said, when we had the by-election, we had Shane Gibson and we had the Smith guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane, people said, Brave gotta go, Brave gotta go. And then all of a sudden,
they shut up.
Everything cool. And you said that it ain't Brave who got some
One of the
shut up.
24 elders say, cool that down. Cool that down.
And that was the end of that.
And of course, because in every organization there is a fraction. There's a fraction of organization.
Jesus, what you
There's some
telling me?
people who are aligned with this person and some people who are aligned with that person.
So who was on the shoulder of the FNM then? Who could make the same call? Because right now I ain't feeling nothing. I know they say they doing something, and I said to you on that Wednesday when they threw the
What
mace
kind
at
of
the
question
window.
you asking?
I asked you this because
No. This have to be a rhetorical question.
no, it ain't rhetorical.
Everybody in this country know this answer.
Yeah, but I got to make it plain.
But why?
I got to make it plain because it's the end of the year. We got to make this thing
So
clear.
you say
No, I won't say that.
so what? You know who the answer is.
But I would know why it. Why?
Because
is it,
he's living, and he's in his right mind. He living in his right mind, and ain't nobody can let that wisdom go to waste. They can use it. And whether or not the wisdom is manipulated to get to a particular agenda, we don't know that. We just take it what you tell us.
But that wisdom also is available to the present government party. The same wisdom, what for them, is available to the other side.
No.
Okay, make it plain then.
Because that's what he said. He said,
I don't care what he say.
He said,
I don't care what he say.
I'm not the NLP.
I don't care what you say.
I tell you what he
This
said.
about how I don't care what you say.
Yeah, but you can't come on people air on the radio and say.
Boss, I see you on the boat. I ain't a fisherman.
But that don't have nothing to do with nothing.
I got everything to do with everything.
If I go fishing with you, that ain't
No, boss. I know this happened on boat. Things is talk about on the boat that can't get back to land.
Things is talked about in the Gulf Coast, too.
Okay, then. So what you trying to tell God?
These people have been friends for years.
Yeah,
God.
but you talk about that influence. Okay, let me put this together for you. You said that when Perry Glasgow Christie was ill between 2002 and 2007, what did he say? He said, if anything happened to me,
give it to
who?
Ingram.
So that means Ingram available to Perry Christie party too then.
As the lines are wide open. 323-6232-16.
And so now the same person is a strength on the shoulders of the royal opposition, and you trying to tell me that ain't available no more over here?
Ingram said he's more PLP than them, you know.
So I ask you if this is all by design, because I cannot figure out why the royal opposition is so I almost cuss. So weak. I can't understand unless it has to be by design.
But why you consider them as weak?
Because I ain't feeling nothing.
Yeah,
I'm a sensitive guy. I like to feel your strength. I like to feel your power. You say you're a talented man, you're articulate, you're an orator, extraordinaire. You saying these things to me, but I ain't feeling nothing. You throw a whole mace out the window, and I told you, Howard, within 2 weeks' time, we talking John Canoe. And now what? By the Tuesday or the Monday that next week, we was talking about the valley splitting. And I just want you to understand something, like how the FLM is split. When you split, boss, you got to go to the fun category. You can't get the first prize in the A category. So you got to get your valley together. You got to get your party together if you're going to go up against the victor. And right now, the PLP is the victor. So how in the heck you can take them down if you are divided? You got to pull yourself together. You got to show me some strength. But you telling me that same strength also is available to the victor.
You really want me to get deep with you today?
Man, you gonna rile me up. I almost cuss.
I don't know whether or not today is that day.
Man, it's the end of the year, man. Let it hang out.
I already explained to you. I said to you already over the course of several conversations that this apparent dissolving, quote unquote.
Dissolving.
This apparent, right?
Dissolving.
Yes,
go ahead.
This apparent dissolution.
Jeez, my God, talking the British language at the end of the year. Go ahead.
Of the PLP.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the FNM. Has nothing. I said to you, I traced it back to you from 87
yes,
to 2002
yes.
to 2012. I told you that this apparent dissolution, this apparent dissolving, this apparent dismay that's being levied against the government of the day and the PLP in their particular capacity as the government of the Bahamas has absolutely nothing to do with the Free National Movement.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Is it impactful and is it working?
Of course it is impactful. It has been impactful for those three dispensations, for 87, for 2002, and for 2012.
But presently, is it impactful and working?
It has even more impact because the impact has to do with the perception of all of us.
Yeah, but at this particular juncture in our history, I don't see it as being as impactful to talk about corruption. I think at this particular point, as you said, and
this isn't just local corruption, you know.
75% of us.
This isn't local corruption, you know.
This is international.
This is international proportion of magnanimous mammoth magnitude.
But nobody cares. Piracy, buccaneering, bootlegging, shipwrecking. We just will accept it as a new industry.
Locally, however, those people who we seek to forge agreements with, treaties with, to be able to pull into our shores, the investors, so forth and so on, to spend money in this country, those people care.
Yes, but does the Bahamian people on a whole care enough? Because the people in the inner circle, they already have themselves insulated. They are insulated.
No,
they are financially insulated.
No, they're not insulated.
Which mean they're not insulated? They own everything.
Listen to me.
They didn't quiet possess
From your
everything.
name on the indictment.
They own the gas and everything else
From
in the
your
country.
name, no, hold on. I'm talking about this particular thing now.
Yes.
Let's keep it concentrated.
I just said, but they insulated.
From your name on an indictment, and people identify you from a global standpoint, and your name pops up at the forefront, and they say you're a high-ranking official from a political standpoint, so forth and so on, your name pop up on that, your assets will be exposed.
Okay, so then what I do next? I cut you off. Just like cancer, I cut you out. You gone, but we got to protect this cycle. So if you are found wanting, they can have you. They can have you. We can't stop them.
But there are canaries in there, sir.
But anyway, I mean,
they are going to sing.
You think so, eh?
There are canaries in there. In your circle, there are canaries right now. I wouldn't be surprised if certain canaries ain't recording. I just want to be decent. But let's be very clear about what's happening here, please. Something's happening here. You don't know who on your side. And this is why you need a stern hand now. If you identify these things before any external bishop or pawn could come and take you down, you deal with it yourself. That's why I keep telling you somebody got to get fired. You got to push these people out in the public and deal with that. Now, the only reason you wouldn't push them out, like Minister indicated, say, look here, I ain't standing behind nobody. Let the bus run over you. That's what Minister indicated.
Yeah, Minister, my hand clean.
My hand clean.
Yeah, go deal with them. But
You
that's
go
the
deal
type
with
of
them.
leadership you need.
Now, the only reason, and this is the speculation that leads in our society,
Hey, listen.
only reason you ain't pushing these people forward is because you're tethered to them in one way or another. Even if you're not, by not being able to be stern when the required time comes, it puts you in the limelight because this is decision-making time. You got to make a decision. And the decision ain't always going to be easy, man. Because you're dealing with people's family, you're dealing with their last name, you know their mothers, there's probably your grandchildren, you know what I'm saying, your godmother, something like that. You have relationship with these people. But someone has made a decision contrary to what we decided upon doing when we came in as a New Day administration. And you can't cloak these people. These people who you've identified to be able to ascend to, you take all the pictures, they're up in all the government office, all over the place. We identify these people as leaders in this country who have made decisions contrary to what we're supposed to do as a New Day administration. You have to make a hard decision.
Man, that ain't hard, Howard.
It ain't hard for me and you because we don't care about these people.
Man,
We
I
fire them today.
I fire them right now.
Now!
They actually got their letter yesterday.
I'll put it in the papers, put it in every newspaper, this by fire, just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't ask me no question.
But that ain't what happening here, Garth. That's what I'm saying to you.
What I'm saying, I'm saying, park the car.
That's what I'm saying to you. This ain't happening here.
That has
with
to happen.
corruption, with crime, with murder, all these speculations that bubble to the forefront that has put an egg in the face of the PLP for a New Day agenda, a New Day administration, that the FNM could be able to tout and say, you see, I know you was going to mess up. I said, Hubert Ingram said. Hubert Ingram already advised his people in the FNM, don't do nothing. Just wait. No matter how good it looked now, just wait. They are the PLP and they will.
Yeah, mess up. Okay. So now that we understand that, what I am also saying to you, Howard, is in the last election we had.
The PLP ain't mess up because they just mess up.
I hear you.
They mess up because they are not willing to make the decision.
The hard decision.
To cut. If there's a cancer, they would rather that spread to their bones and their bone marrow than to be able to cut it out at an early stage. And that's just unfortunate. That's what has pulled down the whole organization. You unwilling to cut the cancer out. And they have not cut the cancer out from 1973 in their organization. Festering. You know what they do? They take the cancer and put it to the back so you don't remember it. And then 40 years later, the cancer come back to the front.
That's what happened.
This is what they done. This is what happened in the organization. They have to cut it out and say, Bala, we can't bother with you no more.
But I think the first thing that has to happen here, Howard, is that the Bahamian people, you have to understand your sovereignty, you have to understand your strengths. You need to register to vote. You got to register to vote. And I want them to prepare themselves to educate themselves about the best possible decision and direction for the country, and be prepared to vote to help save our country.
People ain't looking for education to vote. They're looking for you to convince them.
Yeah, but we ain't need that no more. We don't need the fried chicken. We don't need the $100.
You don't need it.
So,
These people are here on Bunsen burner eating noodles.
you know how sick this nation is, Howard? The Princess Margaret Hospital is a reflection of our nation. We're sick. We need help.
Let's take a quick break, guys. Gonna be right back after this.
The foundation. Foundation.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience, Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
This holiday season, stay connected to the ones you love with Alive. Switch today and get 5 gigabytes of data free with your first 30-day plan. Whether you're sharing holiday moments or enjoying Junkanoo Bay, Alive keeps you connected all season long. Visit BeAlive.com to make the switch today. It's good to be alive.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the 0, hit me up, 422-4796. Call on the line, go ahead.
Good day, Howard.
Hey, how you doing?
Good day, God.
Hey, my brother.
Good day to my beloved Bahamas and Bahamians. Howard, what did you say, Papa say? Don't worry, just wait.
Don't worry, just wait. Just wait. The PLP is going to mess up. And he didn't say mess up if you watch the video. Okay, good. Go ahead.
Anyway,
all right.
Did I not say last week the member from Cat Island in El Salvador need to fire the Minister of Finance?
Mm-hmm. The Minister of Finance is the member from Cat Island. I said this to you last week.
Mm-hmm.
The Minister of Finance is the Prime Minister and the member of Cat Island.
Yeah, you need to fire the Minister of Finance.
So he must fire himself, that's what you're saying to me.
Again.
Okay, go ahead. I ain't gonna fight you. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, the deputy, he's the Minister for Transport and Investment, right?
Aviation, tourism and aviation.
Okay, let's look at the investment and
I think the
aviation.
investment portfolio fall on the Minister of State, which is Halkitis. I'm not sure.
Right. Him in charge of all foreign investment and all local investment.
Mm-hmm.
So when you saw him go on last week, Thursday, took Island, took Pittstown, that's investment, right?
I can't hear what you're saying. You sound muffled. Go ahead.
That's a foreign company, right?
Go ahead. Let me hear what you're saying.
That's a foreign project with Pittstown, right? A foreign company. And that's also a company engaged with some development there that deals with aviation. You know, he likes to say what hold these projects in Exuma and this way and what's on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm saying is this, what I said on Pretty Show last week, Thursday. I hope he don't come out talking about what investment there at Pittstown without talking about the aviation part of it, where they breaking the law. Because I'm Howard. God.
Yes, sir.
Anybody ever offer you all $1 million?
Someone did.
God, I'm Howard.
Nobody
ever
ever
offer you $1 million?
No, not seriously. In conversation, I'll give you $1 million. Yeah, like that.
In 2008, after Cheryl Audrey ran their Pittstown out of court, 1 week later, to try pay me $1 million for my 23 acres, 700 foot of beachfront property. Right there at Pittstown, where they operate in the same illegal runway. See, this is what it's all about, and I want the people to know. But this administration ain't care about that.
You never told me whether or not you have legal representation to be able to deal with this. You know.
Let me tell you something. Howard.
No, I only saying that because
Yeah, I know, but look at it. Let me tell you something.
you keep putting this in the public view. Are
No,
you
no, no,
dealing
no,
with
no.
this from a legal standpoint?
The flesh. They had the right to come to court. Cheryl Audrey ran them. She didn't retire. Right? They had the right to be there in the first place. Section 3.1 of the International Personal Landholdings Act says any foreign person, any foreign company, who the husband board has no right for any interest or to acquire any land. That's what it's all about. I wrote to them. And I write to you, Howard. And I write to you, God. I write a letter. And you are the government. You can read, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why need my lawyer to write you the same letter?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have it. But what it goes back to, after 2008, after Cheryl Audrey, so Brayton Hall ran them in 2007 out of his chambers before he went to the World Court at The Hague. And following year, Cheryl Audrey ruled against him on June 2008. But they try offering me $1 million.
You see, that's what I keep saying. Hold on 1 second. This is what I keep saying to you. I can't allow you, if you don't have legal representation, to be able to speak on the airwaves and charge the environment about this potential bribe or this kind of an idea of what was happening if you're not seeking legal recourse. I can't do that. I can't be a conduit and allegations levied against the government of the Bahamas if you don't and if you had legal representation, you wouldn't be on the radio talking. You wouldn't. Your lawyer would advise you against that, and you would be able to deal with these things accordingly in court. Can I say it like that? I just want to be clear about this because we've had this conversation more than once. And as much as I try to accommodate you, no matter what we talk about, you pull me into Cat Island. I don't have a problem talking about it. I just want to know whether or not you have the proper legal representation to be able to deal with these things through the arms of the law that is provided for all of us. Other than that, I cannot allow my show to be significant, weighty allegations against a government. I don't know nothing but this.
I'll tell you this much, Howard. I'm listening to you now, and I'll say this much, though, based on that caller, that I do believe we're now at a place in our country where the people have become so much more impoverished due to the high cost of living. To even afford a lawyer right now is extremely expensive. And not being able to afford means that it is possible that the government or wealthy individuals or foreigners can come in and...
But that ain't how this works.
It ain't supposed to work that way.
No, if I go to a lawyer right now and I say, read over this particular thing.
But you have to
the
have
lawyer
money.
no, I don't have to have a dime. If I go to a lawyer right now and I say, read over this particular thing, the lawyer could say, okay, no problem, Howard. Just give me $1 and I will be your legal representative. Of course they could.
But I'm saying to
and
you...
then they say, Howard, for the proceeds of these particular things over all this particular cost, it's to cost you this much after we get this settlement for you, or after we get this and this and this is the percentage that I'd
But
like
that's
to be able to
idealism.
get. No, that has happened.
No, let me tell you, it does happen in certain circumstances, but it also happens where there is a brotherhood or a sisterhood or a camaraderie of lawyers that work together, because more than likely the person with the most money is going to win. That's how we know it on the streets. On the streets, Howard Grant, if I have a situation where I need to fight, and then I know my very good friend in South Beach right now, they own acres of property, but he continued to pay the legal fees to the point where he himself ran out of money, and people still came in and took all the property from them. I'm just saying, in our country, when you talk about corruption reaches right into the homes, into the bank accounts, into the pockets of people like ourselves. And if you don't have the resources to even be a Bahamian, you're going to lose your own sovereignty. You're going to lose your own citizenry. You're going to lose your own country. I mean, this is what is happening right now. We're losing our country. This is why I'm encouraging people to go out there, register to vote, and be prepared to educate yourself. Listen to the foundation. Listen to other programs like Remark and Morning Blend, etc. Educate yourself. And then prepare yourself to fight for your country, because it's the only country we got. That's what I'm saying, Howard Grant. Even our own legal teams around the country are like piranhas. It's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight. So I can only empathize and sympathize, but I agree with Howard Grant. We cannot take that conversation here. But what I could say to everyone is that, listen, when you think that person is the only person that has that plight, there's so much more people out there that are losing because they can't afford to fight.
Yeah. And that's the truth, I mean, but you have to pursue this fight for yourself.
You have to find a way to make it happen. But that's
You have to.
But what happens to people who can't, who don't have the ability
the
to?
legal minds, most of the legal minds in this country, those who are operating in the shadows, in a sense. Those who are not necessarily in the shadows. That was the wrong analogy. Those who are, because they're supposed to be above bar.
They're
right?
supposed to, and then you disbar, but 10 of them the other day.
So those who are operating below the standard of what is expected of them, those that you gravitate towards, they make it difficult.
Yes.
And
so who are your politicians, Howard? Aren't they? A lot of them are lawyers.
A lot of them are.
And they and then once again they insulate themselves by being members of parliament and cabinet ministers, and the skullduggery continues what we call, in quote, corruption. You and I don't have access to the things that they have access to. We voted them in. We asked them to serve us, and in turn, what they have done is that they put a blindfold on us and they robbing us every day. That's what we believe. It may not be so, but that's what we believe.
I don't think we have a blindfold on.
You think we know? We just want our piece of the pie.
No, they just robbing us blind.
And they promise to give you $10, and so you say, "Yeah, man, that's my boy."
No, because you don't know the language of a lot of these things.
Legislations and policies,
designed to be able to for those particular persons who have legal mind, who understand this language and the way that this is written, they understand what it is. But for all of us who are laymen, we don't understand it. Many of us who don't understand these particular things, and so they lean on that for the most part. And they find themselves getting over on people.
I don't like it.
I could tell you my telephone has worked well. And even if I don't take some telephone calls, the information is be either text to me, voice note, or WhatsApp voice note. And I hear some things that really breaks my heart in this country. And they call people names. Now, I could be sitting in front of you and I act like I don't know, because I don't get in nobody's business. But I'm well aware of some things that are happening in this country based upon a lot of allegations that's being levied against men and women in this country. And this is a country that we live in.
So based on the influence, because you spoke about this dynamic duo who was an influence in the country, where do we go next? If you're talking about corruption on the side,
Let's
based
be clear,
on
the dynamic duo is Lyndon,
two former leaders, Hubert
Perry
Alexander
Christie
Ingram,
and Hubert Ingram.
yes,
Okay.
and
who are still very much alive
and actually
and very much participating.
the base of two political
They have
organizations.
become the foundations of their organizations.
Yes. They are the all wise ones.
Yes.
So with the foreign influence now making an attempt to switch the government, as you would probably infer or allege, where do you see that now happening? Because I told you I don't see it working right now. You told me no. But I don't feel the effect of, as if in 2026, I am certain that the Free National Movement is going to be the next governor of the Bahamas. I feel as
Sir,
if...
we haven't even stepped into the first day of 2025 yet.
Yeah, but guess what? We only got 6 months window. A 6 months window before we need election season.
It's no but.
It's a 6 months window.
No. You listen.
It's a 6 months window right now.
We have not stepped into the very first day of 2025
We have not.
We haven't gone through the first month, which is January, and it's always a rough month. We haven't gone through the first quarter, the first 90 days of January yet.
Okay.
And you're saying some things before you see some things.
Well, we ain't seen nothing yet.
Exactly.
And that's what he's trying to say to you.
Exactly.
Lent is coming, and then after Lent is summer. We're going on summer break, and then it comes to September, which is a 1 year mark from the last election 4 years ago.
6 months ago, 4 months ago, the PLP was not in this current position.
What type of position were they in?
They were doing.
Oh.
See, no. The PLP was doing better than this.
No, but you said
Their
well, though.
allegations of corruption wasn't levied against.
Okay,
the
but that
PLP.
means that they were doing well?
Yeah.
No, man.
They was doing all right.
No. What
They
you mean,
still had
doing
a-
nothing is
They
all right?
had a chance to win. They just had to turn a couple of things.
Based on your little poll that you had, they had a chance to win.
No, a couple of them had to go for sure, but that wasn't
what is
the
couple?
entire government.
But what is coupled?
Maybe about 14 of them.
If 14 of them are gone.
They did horrible.
Okay, 14 of them gone, plus the F&M's 7. That's 21. That means the F&M wins the next government.
Let me take a telephone call. Caller, go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Ken, Howard.
You called back again.
No, Howard, let me tell you what my Bahamian people read Section 25 of the Legal Professions Act that covers and governs the legal profession practitioners, the lawyers. Read Section 28 of the Companies Act, and you tell me what comes up and how it protects any layman. Another thing, what is the difference between a lawyer and an attorney?
You tell me. Go ahead.
The difference is a lawyer is a formally trained person admitted to the bar. An attorney is a person appointed to act for nothing business or legal matters. You don't have to be a lawyer to be an attorney. An attorney is a title given to someone to go in front of the court.
So let me ask you this question. Since your persistence has brought you back here, let me ask you this question. What good is it to fight your fight in the court of public opinion?
See, when they knew that I rejected their offer, I have attorneys, good attorneys.
No, but don't dissuade, don't move away from what I'm asking you. What good is it? What do you expect to garner? What endorphins run your way as you continue to talk about your issue from a public standpoint in the court of public opinion?
See, they are stuck with my letter so powerful. The government cannot become complicit in breaking the law. But what statute laws? An attorney doesn't need to follow that up. That's why I'm saying to the whole Bahamas, every layman has the right under Section 25 of the Legal Professions Act. It's like, Howard, if you've been appointed, I'm given power of attorney to represent your grandmother, act for her in business or legal matters.
I agree with what you're saying, and I want to thank you.
You are an attorney, but you're not a lawyer.
I accept what you're saying, and I want to thank you for your telephone call. I have to let you go on this one. Yeah, because I just trying to be able to, for me, in this space, for me, this is not the first time that he and I had this conversation. It's not the first time. Second time, third time, fifth time. He sent information here, so forth and so on. And I keep trying to figure out, why would you want to fight this in the court of public opinion? Why? Why not deal with this within the confines of the law? Why you're seeking to be able to have me adjudicate this on the radio? I know lawyer and I know judge. And just leave it like this. Deal with this accordingly, because you only can cause an issue for me, my station, if the government of the Bahamas, if Ryan Pinder and the AG office
the coffee
decide that, listen, what the hell is this Howard doing?
Yeah,
No, let's just be decent. I accept what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. You make a lot of things. You allege a lot of things. Please, I'd prefer you not to call the show back about that. You're welcome to call back and talk about whatever we're talking about. But please, let's not talk about that specific thing as it relates to your matter anymore.
Okay. Now, Howard, I want to get back to bases. We only got a few minutes, and I know some calls are going to come in, right? If this dynamic duo, that is the influence of politics in our country, exists, it wasn't welcomed when Hubert Alexander, Dr. Minnis, was the prime minister. It seems there's something had
He rejected them.
Yeah, they were rejected in terms of their relationship with Hubert Alexander Ingram.
He rejected them.
Yeah, he rejected them, and so therefore he was ostracized and he was cast out, and he was
He
basically...
couldn't be ostracized. He ostracized them. He was the prime minister.
Okay, good, but he's no longer the prime minister.
Back in favor
With who?
and go through the councillors.
To those same two?
Yes, he has to.
Okay, so that's what we saw, right? Now, when you look at the third parties with the COI, because I mean, we wanted to get into this thing, who does not have an umbilical cord per se to either of the two of those people. So does this give the country an opportunity to correct that which has been instilled back from 1977? Because like you said, the first 10 years of the PLP was grand years, golden years, strengths were brought forth to the forefront. We were on a great path. Some institutions were built and they continue to do well. But after that, we seem to have been going into a spiral downward, and we need a fresh wind. Is it possible to come from a third-party force, seeing that the third party doesn't have that umbilical cord?
You keep talking about umbilical cord, but the fact of the matter is that you have to get through the first trimester. You have to actually be able to get into the egg and develop before you can get this umbilical cord. The fact of the matter is that no third force in this country has found themselves beyond the first trimester in the womb of identification and developing into an organization. None. The closest that would have come to that had formality behind it, had financial support and behind it, is the Free National Movement, who started off as the Free PLPs. And then they developed into the freedom, what can we call it? Freedom marches or something like that, right? And then after that, they find formality as the Free National Movement, okay? Freedom fighters, right? So after that, they found themselves in formality as the Free National Movement.
They were actually the third party in the House of Assembly.
It took them years, sir.
But they were the third party.
It took them years.
The PLP was the stronger party, and the party of Mr. Bostwick, Henry Bostwick, had 7 seats in the House of Assembly, and the AFM only had 2. And it was Henry Bostwick's party that
the Labour
merged.
Party was there before.
They merged with the 2 seats, and they became the Free National Movement that we have today.
Third parties don't exist in this country anymore. After the Free National Movement got in and solidified themselves, they identified a lot of the strength that existed in fractions throughout the country.
Are they still accepting factions?
And then they absorb them.
Are they still absorbing factions?
Arentia Komalafe is in the Free National Movement right now.
They ain't absorbed into the faction. They come to take the faction.
Well, I couldn't take.
They leaders, man. Cassius Stewart is a leader. You know Cassius
Stewart.
He's a leader.
In the
he's the leader of his own party,
right
the BDM. And Arinthia was the leader.
Yeah, but I'm not going to speculate what their intentions are. Based upon the history of the Free National Movement, it's always been a party open to the fractions of organizations that exist out there.
Okay.
These quote unquote rebellious crew has always found a home. Yeah, this is rebels.
You ain't decent.
This rebels. That's rebels.
That's a rebel party?
The Free National Movement?
Yeah.
They'll tell you right off the top, this is a party that has been born on dissidence. They have been born of indifference that existed, and they separated themselves. They are like when my good friend T.G. Morrison say the new Zion Baptists, and then they start a new Zion Baptist, and somebody had a problem with you, and then they start a new Zion Baptist.
The Remnant Tabernacle of Praise,
right.
Uncle Michael.
The fact of the matter is that within the Free National Movement is where you see other organizations birthed. Out of the Free National Movement is where you see other organizations birthed. For the most part, you do not see that coming out of the PLP. This is a traditional organization. You understand where you come from.
Yeah.
You understand your role. You play your role accordingly. If you ain't want to be here, buddy, leave us alone. When you leave us alone, you have to go to the Free National Movement for formality. Nobody start their own party from there. No, that's just how it happens in this country.
Well, Howard, that's a lot of dissidents in one particular party at this particular time.
The Free National Movement said that they are an organization that has always been a dissident organization.
But you need a strong man to keep it
and
together.
I said, if you had, this seemed like a haunted house. If y'all still have the spirit of dissidence in here. I said this to you before.
Yeah, but you need a strong man to hold that together.
Well, Hubert Ingram's still alive.
So he's going to have to split up?
I don't know. No, he doesn't have anything split up.
Well, he has it.
But he has them together.
They ain't together? No, they ain't no together. Let's talk about that after you break. Because I sure that ain't together.
After this, guys, quick break, and I'll be right back after this.
The foundation.
This Christmas, Fidelity Bank is still the one. With one easy monthly payment, one fantastic way to save, and one chance to win $5,000 in extra cash. Make that move to Fidelity Bank and apply for a personal loan for a chance to win extra cash today. Call 356-7764 for more details.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
The King is at it again with the new Pepperoni Bacon King. This big and meaty sandwich has pepperoni, bacon, and more pepperoni piled on that 100% flame-grilled beef patty you love. The only way to make the Pepperoni Bacon King tastier was to add Chipotle mayo, barbecue sauce, cheese, lettuce, and tomato, and serve it on a soft potato bun. So when you want a better burger, check out the Pepperoni Bacon King or try the new Crispy Chicken Pepperoni Bacon King. But get yours now because they're only here for a limited time and only at Burger King Nassau.
Ho, ho, ho! Get ready for Jingle All the Pay grand event with Everybody Wins. You can win a Cybertruck, a split of $50,000, and loads of more cash prizes via Spin the Wheel and the Cash Vault. It all goes down December 27th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the FML lawn. To earn a ticket to win, spend $20 between December 9th and 27th at participating Everybody Wins stores. The more tickets, the more chances to win. That's prizes. It's the Jingle All the Pay grand event with Everybody Wins. Game responsibly.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation.
And we're back. Let's see if we can be able to read a couple of these texts before we get out of here. This is good day. The Bahamas also lacks real local government. In America, most successful presidents start off as local government officials.
Yes.
That's how they learn their system.
Yes.
Reagan and Roosevelt and the Lincolns came up that way.
I like
we
it.
really don't have that system
I like it.
here.
I like
as
it.
the text is coming through.
I like it.
Says Howard, let me see. Howard, why are you fighting this battle that has already been won? The FNM had a leadership race in June 2024. Anybody could have run for leader. Anybody. Well,
everybody couldn't run.
Everybody
couldn't run.
Well, hypothetically, anybody could run. But in actuality, those persons who are identified are sent to a position. Because you could put your name forward, but if you don't have two persons to back you, who are paying members, MCM, so forth and so on the floor, you still don't ascend to nothing. So it says for the leader, anybody. If you're too scared to run, then good. You can't be a leader. Pintard wasn't scared. He won. When the party has the next leadership race, anyone could run again. That's the text that's coming through. So he says, they text back and say, Howard, read the rest. Of course I will read the rest. So it says, good day, afternoon, Howard. With all due respect, you might still be in a Christmas dinner turkey coma. Do you seriously believe that the astuteness of the voting populace reflects intelligence as it relates to our governance historically?
Mercy.
Please do what the rest of us do after the big Christmas meal and go to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously this is a retort to indicate that there was no intellectual fortitude when making a decision for the FNM or the PLP in the past. I don't know why. Howard, which people you talking about? The PLP didn't always take care of their, quote unquote, their people. They always hurt some people.
They hurt many people because I met them like that in 2010. But they've always looked out for their people. Their people is not you. That's what they're trying to tell you. You're not their people. You may wear a PLP shirt. You may jump up and down with your pom-poms and be in the stage. You can wear your little hot pants, your little sexy shorts.
He's a voter.
But at the end of the day,
he's a PLP voter.
You ain't one of them. Them is them who in the millions of dollars. You ain't getting no $100 million, $200 million contract. You ain't getting these things. Them is get them, not you.
So it says, Howard, are you still a PLP? This is the text is coming through. I don't know if I ever tell you that I was a PLP. So it says, let's see if I can read this. Howard is rich. This is the text coming through. This. Come on, preach. Speaking of my life in Jesus' name, amen. Let's go.
I bet you had grouper for
Howard
Christmas.
is, of course I had grouper for
See,
Christmas.
that's why they say you're rich. You're eating grouper and hog fish and good food.
And rich people don't understand poor people problems. Having a generational property and fighting for it is two different things. To see a lawyer, it costs $300 to $500, okay? Then they want $5,000 retainer. Then even if they lose, they still want their money. If they drawn out and the money goes higher, it's a lose-lose situation. Money talks, not right or wrong. It's a Texas conversation. This text is coming through. It says, unfortunately, Howard still believes in Santa Claus, or he doesn't care about poor people problems, and that's what it sounds like to me.
Oh,
no,
Lord.
no. I'm not going to let the man call here and adjudicate on the radio about how the government tried to be able to slide him $1 million. That's what the hell is this? You think I can open up the conversation for that?
They want to see your appear on the front paper.
The
Guardian said, Howard Grant fired.
Howard Grant fired. What you doing? I mean, you've got to be out of your mind, right?
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, this is the long and short of the conversation, guys. We won't see you until, well, on Monday we're coming in. Oh, let me read this one more. There's one more text is coming through. It says, Hubert Ingram is the stepdaddy or the stepfather to the F&M who has lots of children with the PLP. He likes the ma and not the children. There's a text is coming through. This is a lot. This is a text is coming through, right? But guys, I just wanted to kind of have this kind of a conversation with you and let you understand that this is my thinking as it relates to the country. We started off this year. It says, are you not entertained? You ever watch this movie? You ever watch this? I can't remember that. Am I here to entertain you? Are you not entertained? Right?
Well, Howard, you're honest. You're an honest guy. I'm going to say this to you then. Right now, even with all the talk of scandal and everything else going on, right now the PLP still has a root and a foothold prepared for 2026 to be possible victors. When the Free National Movement shows me sign of greater strength, I'll be the first person to jump up and down and say, you know what? The F&M is on their
The
way
Free
to
National may not show you that sign of a greater strength.
Until when? Or they just want to win by default?
Hold on. The Free National Movement may not show you the sign that you seek for greater strength. I think a lot of people expect this great thunderbolt and lightning and the earth to quake when God speaks, but sometimes it's very quiet. And you have to be in tune to be able to hear that. The Free National Movement may not give you the sign that you seek. However, like Hubert Ingram say, just wait. The PLP.
You still waiting?
You just because it ain't finished yet. You ain't finished yet. I tell you, you ain't get through the first 30. You ain't get through the first 30 days of January yet.
We can have an exciting 2025.
This is going to be war, sir. This is going to be political war.
But it got to happen before me.
This is going to be political.
It has to happen before me.
This is going to be political war. And I just want to let you know that you may think that this is going to be casual. This ain't going to be like no bloodshed and nothing like that, but this is going to be tooth and nail, nonstop fighting. And you may not necessarily see the F&M throw these blows that you're looking for, but it's there. And somebody throwing blows. I just want to be very clear with you.
Yeah,
I tell you, the fella's mic'd up. You better start patting people down before you let
any meeting. How much cell phone they got on the body?
I just want to be decent with you and let you know that something is bigger than you.
All the time.
And we got to be able to look at this and understand that for us to be able to keep sovereignty intact in this country, we have to be sober. We have to be sober. And the only issue that we have in this country, we are hungry and we can't see nothing. Bahamian people can't see nothing. We are hungry. We need to take care of our children.
Discipline and commitment. That's what we need. Discipline and commitment.
Guys, that's the show today. I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to tune in. Garth, my brother, thank you so much for being able to tune in with us. Enjoy your weekend. Do so safely. Boil your ham and turkey, slice it up, throw it in your noodles, whatever you do.
Saxons in your belly.
Saxons in your belly. Guys, enjoy yourselves. Congratulations to the Saxon Superstars for being able to see that three-peat. Guys, do a wonderful thing. We're going to see you on Monday, God's Spirit Life, right here on The Foundation.
Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.